Coming up on today's show, potential rule changes for the 2024 season, James Vowles speaks out about Alex Albon's contract, and an update on Christian Horner and the allegations surrounding him right now. Welcome to F1 Briefings. My name is Alex Harrington. I'm an FIA accredited journalist, and so is Lydia, me to my right.
Hello, and if you like what we're saying, please do give us a follow on social media. I'm at Lydia Me F1, Alex is at Alex Does F1, and while you're there, give SI F1 and F1 Briefings a follow for all the latest updates.
Yeah, and before we jump in, if you're watching on YouTube, you can also listen in podcast form. We're on all your favourite podcast providers. Same to you guys listening on podcast. We're on YouTube. Just come and search for F1 Briefings. Right, let's get into the first bit of news. Changes coming to the 2024 season. Talk me through them.
Well, there's always some, isn't there?
Yeah, full stop. There you go.
That's it. Job done. So basically there was a F1 Commission meeting yesterday. So there was proposed changes put forward.
Mm-hmm.
And they have approved these changes. It doesn't mean that they are 100% set in stone, because they now have to go to the next level, which is to the World Motorsport Council, which will happen on the 28th of February. But there's three main changes. The first being sprint races.
Yeah, what is happening with the sprint races?
Here we go again. Another format to remember, so bear with me. But what they're proposing is for Friday to have free practice 1 in the morning, and then the sprint shootout in the afternoon. So obviously that's the qualifying session for the sprint race. Saturday will then have the sprint race, and following that will be the qualifying for the Grand Prix.
Yes.
And then Sunday, easy, it's the Grand Prix.
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember. 2023, we had qualifying for the We had
free practice 1 on a Friday, followed by Grand Prix qualifying. That's really hard to say quickly. On the Friday. Saturday then was the whole sprint day. So that was sprint shootout in the morning and then the sprint race in the afternoon. That's scrapped. So it'll be free practice 1, sprint shootout on the Friday, Saturday, sprint race, qualifying, and then Grand Prix on the Sunday.
I literally covered F1 like full time, no breaks for the whole of 2023, and I still can't remember what a sprint race weekend looks like. Do you think right now they are just kicking a dead horse?
First of all, I think that's partly a you problem.
Wait, the dead horse? Or
well, I don't know what you do in your personal time, but hopefully not that. I don't know. I think, they're just ironing out the problems. I think the main issue with last year was the Parc Fermé rules.
Yes, that's a good point. So I think it's important for them to separate the sprint and the Grand Prix.
Yes.
Because the Grand Prix remains that celebration of racing, which is always and should always be on the Sunday.
Yeah.
And then the sprint race is like a fun, la-di-da thing that can happen on some day during the week where people are going to be at work. Obviously, that the actual sprint race is Saturday now.
Well, I say morning. It will be before the qualifying.
Okay. That doesn't... I mean, at least we don't have to stay off of work. I mean, we don't, but at least you guys don't have to stay off of work on Friday to know how people are going to qualify for the race. So you can just ignore that bit now. You could ignore the sprint qualifying, the sprint shootout, whatever you want to call it, because it doesn't matter anyway, does it?
But the main thing was that previously the cars would enter Parc Fermé regulations
after only just one practice.
On the Friday.
Which is rubbish.
So now they will go through the sprint race beforehand.
I say it's rubbish. It actually added a little bit of intrigue to the weekend, didn't it?
A little bit of spice.
A little bit of spice. Yeah, it actually did. I was thinking, I said off the cuff that it was rubbish. Actually, I kind of liked it.
I do actually quite like having sprint race weekends. They should never fully replace the traditional format, but when you've got 24 races in a season, I think, it's nice to have a few. So there'll be 6 this year, which is the same as last year. It's nice to have a few where it's a little bit different. No? Well, we'll agree to disagree and move on.
Let's move on to the second change.
So, DRS last year would have been activated after a race start or a restart on the second lap, or 2 laps after. it will now just be one.
Yes.
So
they will have one full
time.
lap without DRS, and then on the second lap they will be able to open their flaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one way
a lot of people are going to be saying this works very well for Red Bull, because Red Bull's DRS in 2023 was very, very potent. Yeah.
We don't know how the other teams will have improved, though, for this year.
Yep.
It's easy to say that, isn't it?
I don't really see how this changes much, because during the start of a race you usually get a close bit of racing anyway, because they've all just come off the grid. So I don't really see why they're sodding about with it.
Do you think it's so the leader, so obviously they've got ahead on the restart or start, and then if they start to build a gap?
That is actually a very good point, because Max was pulling more than a second in a lap or two, wasn't he?
Yeah, he could get out of the DRS zone very, very quickly.
Okay, I like it. Third change, what's that?
So it's a change, but it feels like it's not really a change. So they are officially increasing the power unit allowance per driver from 3 to 4 for the whole season. This will be for 2024 and 2025. They did actually do this partway through last year. So I think it was around April. The teams were saying that they needed more. Obviously, with the increasing amount of races in the calendar, it makes sense. Also, on top of that, with sprint races, it adds more strain onto the cars. So it makes sense. So April last year, they allowed it for 2023 to go up to 4, but that expired at the end of the year. So they've essentially just made the same change, but for 2024 and 2025.
Yes, it went back down to 3 while there were no races.
Yes.
And now there are races again. Soon they have just put it back up to 4. Ferrari will be pleased. And therefore Hamilton will be pleased.
Oh, God.
Stefano Domenicali, he said these proposed changes are a testament to Formula One's commitment to dynamic competition and sustainable growth. We believe these adjustments will enhance the race weekend experience for teams, drivers, and most importantly, the fans. Thank you, Stefano. That sounds really great. No, I'm actually supportive of all these things. I think
that'll be good.
Yeah, I think that's great. Now let's move on, because changes are changes. Fine. We'll see how they do. Let's move on, because talking of Lewis Hamilton, this movement with Lewis Hamilton has given us a bit of a shake-up, hasn't it?
Yes. So obviously, it all hit the fan.
Yes.
On Thursday?
Yeah. Oh, God, a few days ago. What day is it today? What's my name?
So I think, it was Thursday. It was the 1st, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so...
After a very dull January, minus the Andretti stuff.
He obviously confirmed on Thursday that he will be going to Ferrari in 2025.
Yes.
That has then obviously led to...
a domino effect.
All the rumours.
Yeah.
Of who could replace him. And then kind of on top of that, like the other drivers that are going to be expiring at the end... their contracts, not them, hopefully. At the end of 2024.
Yeah.
So
because Carlos Sainz has to go somewhere.
He does.
I don't want to lose Carlos Sainz.
And I don't think we will. So
no, I don't think we will either.
Don't worry.
But at the same time, someone has got to fill Lewis Hamilton's seat at Mercedes.
And the name that kept coming up for a lot of people was Alex Albon.
He's my personal favourite.
He's my favourite.
But you know what James Vowles has done? He's gone, no.
He's...
not going to happen.
Nope.
He's... no one will have played that game.
No.
He has said a stand-up no, because he's confirmed. Because Alex was on like a multi-year contract with Williams, and we didn't really know where he was.
Well, it was thought that his contract was ending at the end of this year. They just never said.
Yeah. It's a thing now. Teams don't do that anymore. It's really annoying. But actually, Alex is signed to Williams until the end of 2025. Vowles has said Alex is signed in Williams until the end of 2025. It's not something I've been very public about, because I don't feel the need to. So any reports that you're seeing, and there's one in particular, they're individually speculating at best. Who do you think he's talking about?
Well, the one in particular, over the weekend, it was heavily rumoured that... Was it from German media? Can't quite remember.
Did Telegraph?
No.
Oh, no, sorry, that's the Christian Horner stuff.
I think it was from the German media.
Carry on.
Don't quote me. So it was heavily rumoured that he'd been offered a 3-year deal with Red Bull.
Oh, yes, of course.
Which...
So we were talking about this and we thought, you know what? That's not true because Red Bull already have so many great drivers. There's the Daniel Ricciardo stuff. I know Sergio Perez might be leaving at the end of this year, depending on performance. But we thought, actually, this is a great way of Alex Albon's management to make things a little more interesting for Mercedes. Start putting the pressure on the Brackley bunch, and then we'll see what happens.
It's all negotiation.
It's all a game of chess, isn't it?
But now apparently none of it's true. So
no.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. James Vowles carries on. It is our job at Williams to create an environment that deserves someone of the caliber of Alex. Simple as that. He is a great driver, isn't he? I think Alex... Let's just talk about Alex's performance in Williams and Williams as a whole. James Vowles has come into Williams and he's just flipped the team on its face. And it's suddenly looking like a mature team that has headroom and not like a team that's struggling to even get off the start. It's amazing what James has done. And then on top of this, you've got this driver who has struggled before but shown hints of talent. He's suddenly flowered into this amazingly mature, level-headed, talented driver. And I hope Alex does stay at Williams. I would love him to go to Mercedes because he is worthy of that level of car. But I hope that Williams is able to grow with Alex and match the growth that he's done.
I think that's James Vowles' plan. And I mean, the fact that Albon is one of the most talked about drivers in terms of contracts and silly season and whatnot shows that he is one of the kind of... I don't want to say most improved because I don't think that's necessarily the case, but like he's finally found a team that kind of works well with and kind of marries up with his own kind of way of working. The car is finally doing
Getting
okay.
There. Yeah.
And I think him with James Vowles is an amazing partnership.
Yeah.
I think it would be really, really good, like you say, to build with the team. But it also, how old is he? Like 20?
He's younger than us, 27, 26, 27. Yep.
He, I don't want to say he's getting old because he's not, but you know how it is in F1.
He needs to prove himself sooner rather than later. Because you're right, he wants to go into a team where he's capable of doing that. Yeah,
and also he's been in it a long time now. Like, he's going to want to start winning races and, you know,
yes, you're
celebrating
right.
on the podium.
But the thing is we all saw the Williams car reveal, the Williams livery reveal. It's covered in sponsors. They've got some money rolling in now. So hopefully they can build up that infrastructure that they are so sorely lacking.
Yeah.
And... And hopefully, you know, James Vowles has this long-term plan. He's being very realistic about it, which I love. Hopefully, they get there because, it's a match made in heaven. James Vowles, Williams, Alex Albon. And look, let's bring along Logan Sargent for the ride because hopefully they can squeeze something out of him. What a driver to look up to for Logan. What a driver to drive alongside.
Exactly.
Yeah, so exciting for Alex Albon. I'm glad he's got a couple more years with Williams while they ramp up. I'm hoping they make it to like 5th in the driver standings. Can you imagine that? Alpine, they're gonna fall Alpine because they're just confused,
struggling, and they've already they're being a bit pessimistic about their 2024, aren't they? So that would be amazing if they could be above Alpine.
But this actually
that's like a huge thing for the team.
Yeah, I agree. Especially after the investment they've received. It does still beg the question: who is going to fill that Mercedes seat? Who's gonna fill it? I mean,
I have to say, I'm absolutely living for Valtteri Bottas's Instagram right now.
He was in Brackley.
But
he
was. He? I'm not
yes,
sure.
He was. He was because he put it on. It was a couple of days before the Lewis Hamilton contract. Mercedes at this point did know about him breaking the contract. Not breaking the contract, you know, using the exit that was in the contract. He was in Brackley because he put it on his Instagram stories. Go and follow us on Instagram, F1 Briefings, because we screenshotted it and we gave you all the information you need. He is in Brackley. He was in Brackley.
So I because it looks like that's where he was. But then I thought, he is sneaky. Like, is he just making it look like he's there? But
he's F1 meme lord, isn't he? He is the F1 meme lord. But did you see his face during the stake F1 team reveal? He was bored. He was not happy. I mean, there could just be Bottas.
It could also be that those race suits are just... I know I said it in the last video, but I'm not over it. They're horrific.
They are so bad.
They are horrific.
Go click up there, because we talked about the stake F1 livery reveal. We watched it with you guys, and it was a bit crap.
But in terms of Mercedes replacements, I mean, they have since kind of put all their faith in George, saying that they believe he can be an amazing number one driver, which makes me think they're not going to be bringing... Because there was rumours of Fernando Alonso. Well, he wouldn't be a second driver, would he? Then I quite liked the idea of Nico Rosberg making a comeback, but I think that was maybe just me in my own little world.
His hair couldn't take it.
So then maybe, they're going to go for someone more junior.
No, they're not going to go for a junior driver. They're not. Mercedes will not do that. They won't do it. I'm going to say Carlos Sainz, which is the obvious, or Valtteri Bottas. Bloody love that man.
Mick?
No, I think Mick's had his day. I've got to admit, I love Mick, but I think he has had his day.
Sorry, my jaw dropped so much it cracked.
Wow. Sorry, Mick. I love you, buddy. Now, let's move on to the last bit of news. Obviously, earlier on this week, well, I think it was actually yesterday, the news came out that Christian Horner, there have been allegations against him, and Red Bull, not the team, the actual Austrian energy drink company, has hired an independent barrister to look into this. Now, there have been loads and loads of rumours floating about, so we're not going to get into the rumours because nothing has been confirmed. Innocent until proven guilty. That is our motto every time. We don't even know what the allegations are, but there is an update. And that update is that there will be a hearing this Friday. And it's reported that Red Bull are trying to sort this out before the launch of their car on the 15th of Feb, which is just around the corner. Obviously, they want to get this sorted out because this is a huge part for the team. This is like one of the most important bits. The branding, the idea of the team going forward into this season. You don't want Christian Horner to be in the corner going, I'm being, there are allegations against me. I've been naughty or not. I don't know.
Also, the press questions... if it's not sorted before then, are obviously going to be about that. So it will just completely overshadow their launch event. Also, it's important, I presume from a business point of view, just to nip it in the bud quite quickly.
Yes.
Like, whether it's found to be true or false, like, they just need it not to be a drawn-out process. Obviously, I can't remember if you just said, Horner is strongly denying the allegations made against him. And that is all we know.
That is all we know, but I'm sure, like everyone else reading this news, he's sweating a bit.
Sweat, baby. Sweat.
Sorry, I had to. I've been holding on to that for so long. I need to press play at some point. I've got more, so hang around. Subscribe to see all the memes. Look, Christian Horner is in a bit of hot water. He has denied it. Helmut Marko, he said he's not going to comment, not his business. Like I said, we don't know what this is. It's revolved around some form of misconduct to another Red Bull employee. Red Bull Racing employee, yeah. Yes. That is all we know. And that is... The Daily Mail, they were saying all sorts of stuff. Don't listen. They make stuff up for fun to ruin people's lives. If it's true, we'll get into that. But it's not proven. Please, just hang on to this. All right. I mean, we'll update you coming later this week. I don't know. It's kind of putting a bit of a sour taste on everything so far this season, but we move forward. And with that, let us know down in the comments whether you think Alex Albon should stay at Williams, because let's just get around the Christian Horner stuff. Should Alex Albon stay at Williams, and who is going to fill that Mercedes seat? Let us know. While you're down there, you can click that subscribe button, click the thumbs up button, and the notification bell. Ding, 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 ding. You got it in one. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.